Welcome to another video from Mastery Tutoring. So today we're going to talk about solve for x. You know, there's some questions that when you get them, when you have to solve for x, you just can't break them. You know, you can't just factorize them, because I mean, when you get a question for solving for x, the first thing that comes in mind is to apply factorization. But if you can't factorize it, what do you do next? So this is something that you cannot factorize. I mean, if you were to factorize this, it was going to be very complex and very long. So one other way that we can use is the quadratic formula. Quadratic formula. So what the quadratic formula does is to help you to get the roots of a quadratic equation if you can't factorize it. So it looks as follows: x is equals to minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac, and then we divide the whole thing by 2a. But this quadratic equation, this quadratic formula rather, it's applicable for quadratic equations. So a quadratic equation is given as follows. So quadratic is given as ax squared plus bx plus c is equals to 0. So any equation that is in this form, it's going to be, we call it a quadratic equation. So now for you to apply this quadratic formula on this quadratic equation here, you need to be able to identify the a, the b, and the c. So the a in this case, a is the number, is the coefficient of x squared. When you check here, the coefficient of x squared, there's nothing there, there's no number written next to it. So as you know, in mathematics, we assume there's an imaginary number there of 1. So we're going to say a is equals to 1. The value of b is going to be the coefficient of x. So here we can see that the coefficient of x is 3. Therefore, b is going to be equals to 3. And then lastly, c is a constant standing on its own there. And therefore, when we come back to this quadratic equation here, we can see that our c is going to be minus 5. Because remember, c is positive here. So because this one, it is a negative, you have to take it with its sign. So now c is going to be minus 5. Now we're going to take all these three terms, right? Or these three numbers, we substitute them on this quadratic formula to find the value of x, or the root of the equation. So now when we do that, x is equals to minus b. Let me just copy the formula first before we substitute. Minus 4ac, and then we divide the whole thing by 2a. All right, now we substitute. X is equals to minus b is 3 plus or minus square root of b again is 3 squared minus 4. A is 1, and then c is minus 5 there. So I'm basically taking these numbers here, substitute them on this formula. So this is going to be minus 5, and then we divide by 2 times. Now a, this a here is going to be this one there. Okay, let me re-explain this part, right? So now, because here I need to put a b, but then b we know that is equals to 3. That's why I put a 3 there. And then this is b again, so it's going to be the same 3. So I said 3. And then minus 4. A is going to be the first, this term here, which is minus 1. And then c is the constant, which is minus 5. That's why I put a minus 5 there. And therefore a is this one again. We put it there. Because we have a plus or minus here, we are going to have two roots. We're going to have two x values. So the first one, x is going to be minus 4.19, or now the other one is going to be 1.19 equals to. So these are the roots of this quadratic equation here. Remember, we've applied the quadratic formula on the quadratic equation to find the roots of the quadratic equation. So this is the formula that you apply whenever you can't factorize your quadratic equation. I hope you guys learned something from this video. Please leave a comment, like, and share. Goodbye.